Hi, welcome back to This Ohio Farmhouse. My name is Chuck, and I'm here on my property with my family, Joanna and my two boys. And we are just down the road from Jenna and Ben, my sister-in-law's family with their 6 kids. And we are doing a homesteading adventure together. So on this episode, I'd like to show you how I constructed this 10-foot long, 4-foot wide, 3-foot high tunnel that's going to be used for my chickens. I'm going to adapt this to go along my coop to create a paddock system so my chickens always have plenty of forageable grass and a good place to go out, get some exercise, and find lots of bugs. So stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to build this. Oh boy, okay, so you could probably see from that last bit of video, I was having some real problems drilling, even with self-tapping screws, through this galvanized conduit. It's slippery, it's you know, it's a round surface, it's difficult to do. So I went out and I bought a couple things. Just a second here, let the traffic go by. I went out and bought a couple things I think I needed. So one is my drill bits were not good for metal. I think they were a combination drill bit anyway. So I went out and bought a specialty drill bit over at Lowe's. I think this is called, I don't know, like a Stinger or something, but it's a hardened metal. It's special designed to go through metal. I also saw a little dude here called Drill Block, and I'm gonna try that. It's kind of a guide. So this is a 1/4 inch drill bit, and it's got a 1/4 inch hole, so it'll help you keep aligned. And then the bottom of it has got a V channel in it, so you can go onto round surfaces. So like when I'm going onto here, I can clamp this on, and then it'll help me have a guide, and I can actually put some pressure down. So I just did a test drill, and it worked out great. So I'll give you a close-up of how that works. So basically, I'm to the point where at the bottom of the hoops, I'm taking and I'm gonna put PVC runners along the bottom so that when the net goes over top of it, that's gonna be able to secure that net along the bottom. And I thought I'd try PVC just to avoid rust and so forth. So that's what I'm working on next. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the basic framework that I was going for. This is 10-foot long EMT. This is kind of the purlin along the ridge. Those are all through bolted. Then along the bottoms, I've got the PVC. Those are all through bolted. And I will say a little tip to keep in mind is whatever your spacing is up top, I think it's about 3 foot 3 inches for each of these. That same measurement should transfer down to this bottom runner so things don't get all whopper jawed. So, and I'm sure I'm not perfect. I know I'm not, but that's okay. It's just for this chicken run. I want it to look nice. I want to do a good job, but you know, you do the best you can. So at this point, I've just got a couple more bolts to do on the other side, and I ran out, so I'm gonna have to run into town to the hardware and get some of those. But when this is done, I've got a couple options over here. I've either got some of this deer netting, which is in a really big dimension. I can't remember. I want to say it may be like 10 feet wide. And then I've got this, which is really what I wanted to use because I like the look of it and it's a little bit more sturdy. But this is only 3-foot lengths. And I don't know if I can get that to work here because the seams won't line up. So we'll do some experimenting and see. So this will be one section. And I think I've got enough conduit that I'm going to do 2 of these for right now. Eventually I'd like to do a total of probably 5 or 6. But I have to wait for the prices of materials to go down. I went to the store and I was wrong what I said earlier in the video. Boy, this conduit's probably doubled, I would say. So and each section uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So I'm gonna wait a little bit. The chickens will be okay right now with the extra 20 feet. I can still do my paddock system and get seeds planted and stuff, and then I'll just expand it. And that's what's gonna be nice about this, is that each of these sections, you know, it's not heavy with the netting and everything. I'll just be able to, like, you know, pick this up. Joanna and I can each get on an end and just move these around the yard if we need to get in there. So anyway, let's check back a little bit in a minute. Okay, so I've got this turned around and I'm to the point where I'm going to be putting this covering on it, and I'm going to try a couple different things, but what I'm going to go with first to see if it works is this black inexpensive netting. It's like a deer netting, so it's not real strong, but it's strong enough that a chicken is not going to push its way through. And I'm not concerned about the strength either, because all of our birds go in the coop at night and get the door closed up behind them. So this is just during the day, really to contain them. I'm not concerned about predators coming out in broad daylight. What I'm attaching this with is just a really flexible vinyl coated wire that I got that at the home improvement store. This is typically used for like tying off plants to direct the branches, or like maybe tomato plants. I got this because it's a lot more affordable, and I think it's going to be more durable than cable ties. Cable ties are nice because they're fast, but they're really actually pretty expensive, I think, and the UV light will break them down in the cold weather, even if you buy the outdoor ones. This is vinyl coated metal, so UV is not going to bother it. Even if the vinyl wears off, the metal's still going to be there. So I'm going to put this on a time lapse and we'll see how this turns out. Okay, now that the bill's done, I just wanted to summarize and show you basically the materials again one last time. So this is all made out of 3/4 inch conduit, except for the runners, which are Schedule 40 3/4 inch PVC pipe. This is plastic deer netting. And then let me show you over here a couple of things that I think were indispensable. One is this drill bit. I think it's called Stinger, but there's other ones like it, but it's basically a hardened special drill bit for metal. Cutting through, or trying to drill through that conduit was surprisingly tough, and this made it a lot easier. The other thing that's really hard about drilling through conduit is that it's round, and so I picked this up also at Lowe's. This is called Drill Block. It's not a review for it and it's not an affiliate link, but I just picked this up and it actually was very helpful. It's got different gauges in here for your standard drill bit sizes. It helps you stay vertical and straight when you're doing your pilot holes. And then also it's got like this V channel, so it'll go around the conduit and you can pinch it off, you can use this to clamp You can clamp this to your conduit, and then it gives you a good guide to drill your holes correctly. And then for fasteners on this, I started out using some machine screws, but I ended up switching over to a 1/4 inch carriage bolt or a hex bolt and nut. I think that would just, it's a little bit sturdier, it was easier to work with, and I think it'll create a tighter fit and a better end result. So that's what I did. Now, next episode, I'm going to show you actually how I build more of these and how I take them out to our chicken coop area, and I'm actually going to install them and create the run. We'll create some doors on these so I can close the chickens away and kind of seal these off for when I want to give the forage area in there a rest. And I'm also going to experiment with using a different type of netting just to see which version I like better, and I'll be sure to share that with you. So stay tuned for the next episode in 2 weeks where we wrap this project up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time at This Ohio Farmhouse.